My daughter got pregnant in college and wanted an abortion, but I refused because of our faith and offered to raise the baby myself. My daughter refused and my wife took her to the clinic behind my back. Dorothy, 23F, and I, 48M, got married young. I was 25 and she was 24. We met at church and our faith was always something we shared. When we got married, we both agreed we wanted a big family and we'd raise our kids with strong Christian values. That was the plan. And for years it worked out exactly that way. We have 4 kids together. Our oldest is Donna, who's 21. Then there's Michelle, who just turned 19. We also have 2 younger boys, Daniel, who's 15, and Michael, who's 13. Donna was always the brilliant one. She got straight A's through high school and ended up getting accepted to Duke University on a partial scholarship. We were so proud of her. She wanted to be a lawyer, and she was already talking about applying to top law schools after graduation. She spent most of her time at Duke, only coming home for holidays and summer breaks. Michelle was different from Donna. She was more artistic and creative. She went to a state school about an hour away studying graphic design. The 2 of them have always been close, despite being different. Michelle would defend Donna against anything and anyone. Everything was fine until last March. Donna came home for spring break. She looked tired and wasn't eating much. Dorothy kept asking if she was okay, and Donna kept saying she was just stressed about midterms. On the 3rd day she was home, Donna broke down at dinner. She told us she was pregnant. The room went completely silent. Daniel and Michael just stared at their plates. Dorothy reached across the table to hold Donna's hand. I asked her how far along she was. She said about 9 weeks. Then she told us about Jake, her boyfriend of 2 years. He'd been cheating on her with another girl in his dorm. She found out 2 weeks earlier and ended things immediately. I expected her to tell us what her plan was. Instead, she said she'd already made an appointment at a clinic for the following week. She was going to end the pregnancy. She said it like it was already decided and nothing we said would matter. Dorothy started crying right away. She asked Donna to please think about this more carefully. Donna said she'd thought about nothing else for 2 weeks. She couldn't have a baby with someone who betrayed her like that. She couldn't drop out of Duke. She couldn't throw away her future. I told her she didn't have to throw anything away. Dorothy and I could help her. We could raise the baby while she finished school. Plenty of people managed to have kids in college. Donna shook her head and said she wasn't going to be a mother at 21. She said this wasn't up for discussion. Michelle, who had driven down from her school to be there, immediately jumped in. She told us to stop pressuring Donna. She said Donna's body meant Donna's choice. I told Michelle this wasn't about politics or slogans. This was about a life, about our grandchild. Michelle called me controlling and said this was exactly why Donna didn't want to tell us in the first place. The next few days were terrible. Donna wouldn't talk to me at all. Dorothy tried to convince her multiple times, but Donna would just leave the room. I sat down with Dorothy and told her we needed to present real alternative. We came up with a plan. I told Donna we'd support her completely if she decided to keep the baby. I'd take on extra shifts at work. Dorothy would cut back her hours so she could help with childcare. Donna could transfer to the university nearby and live at home. She wouldn't have to worry about money or childcare. Everything would be taken care of. Donna said absolutely not. She wasn't transferring from Duke to a state school. That wasn't happening. I asked her if prestige was really more important than a child's life. She said yes, it was, because this wasn't a child yet, and she had every right to decide what happened to her body. Then I offered something else. I said if she really didn't want to be a mother, Dorothy and I would adopt the baby legally. She could sign over all parental rights. She could go back to Duke and finish her degree and law school and whatever else she wanted. She'd never have to see the baby if she didn't want to. We'd raise the child as our own. Donna looked at me like I'd suggested something insane. She said there was no way she was going through 9 months of pregnancy just to hand over a baby. She said she'd gain weight and get stretch marks and mess up her body. She said it was 2023 and women didn't have to destroy their lives because of one mistake anymore. I told her actions have consequences. She said consequences shouldn't include forced pregnancy. We went back and forth like this for over an hour. Nothing I said made any difference. The worst part was Dorothy. At some point during the argument, I realized she'd stopped backing me up. She was just sitting there. When I asked her directly if she agreed with our plan, she said she didn't know anymore. She said maybe we should support whatever Donna decided. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This was the woman who'd stood next to me at church every Sunday for over 20 years, the woman who taught our kids about the sanctity of life. Now she was saying maybe abortion was okay because it was Donna. Michelle came back the next day, and the 2 of them ganged up on me. Michelle said I was being a religious extremist and trying to control Donna's uterus. She said if I didn't back off, Donna would never forgive me. I said if Donna went through with this, I didn't know if I could forgive her. Donna left the next morning. She went back to Duke 3 days early. She wouldn't hug me goodbye. Dorothy drove her to the airport. I stayed home with the boys. 2 days later, Dorothy told me she was driving up to Duke that weekend. She said Michelle was going too. They were taking Donna to her appointment. I asked Dorothy how she could do this. She said Donna was our daughter and she needed support, even if we didn't agree with her choice. I told Dorothy if she drove Donna to that clinic, she was choosing Donna over our marriage. She said she was choosing Donna over my rigidity. Then she left. They took Donna to the clinic on Saturday. I found out because Michelle posted about it on Instagram. She didn't say Donna's name, but she posted a picture from outside the clinic with a caption about supporting her sister's choice. I called Dorothy and she didn't answer. I called Donna and her phone went straight to voicemail. Dorothy came home Sunday night. She told me it was done. Donna had a surgical abortion on Saturday morning. It went fine. Donna was back at her dorm resting. Dorothy said this like she was reporting on a dental appointment. I didn't say anything to her. I went to our bedroom and shut the door. I stayed in there until I had to leave for work Monday morning. When I came home that evening, Michelle was there. She'd driven down to check on Dorothy. Both of them acted like I was the problem. Over the next week, Daniel told me he thought Donna did the right thing. He said she was too young to have a baby, and it would have ruined her life. I asked him where he learned to think like that. He said he learned it from paying attention in health class. Even Michael, who was only 13, said something. He told me he didn't understand why I was so upset. He said Donna didn't want a baby, so she didn't have one. What was the big deal? I realized I'd failed as a father. My kids, all 4 of them, had been completely taken in by the culture. Everything Dorothy and I tried to teach them meant nothing. Donna didn't call me for a month. When she finally did, it was because she wanted to tell me something. She said she and Michelle had started volunteering with a reproductive rights organization on their campuses. She said what happened to her made her realize how important access was. She wanted to help other women. I asked her if she felt any regret at all. She said no. She said she felt relieved and free, and like she'd made the right choice for her future. Then she said she hoped one day I'd understand that. I told her I'd never understand killing a baby for convenience. She hung up on me. That was 2 months ago. Donna hasn't spoken to me since. Michelle barely speaks to me either. She comes home sometimes to see Dorothy and the boys, but she makes it clear I'm not welcome in those conversations. Dorothy and I sleep in the same bed, but we might as well be strangers. She goes to work, comes home, makes dinner, and watches TV. We don't talk about anything that matters. Last week, Donna posted something on Facebook. It was a photo from a march she attended. She was holding a sign that said, "Abortion saved my future." I commented on the post. I said she had options and support, and she chose to take a life instead. She deleted my comment within an hour and then blocked me on all social media. Dorothy saw what I wrote. She said I was pushing Donna away permanently. She said I was destroying our family over something that was already done and couldn't be changed. I told her our family was already destroyed the day she drove Donna to that clinic. Now Dorothy is talking about separation. She hasn't filed anything yet, but she brought it up last week. She said she can't live like this anymore. She said I'm bitter and cold and impossible to be around. She said the man she married would have chosen love over judgment. I don't know what she's talking about. I haven't changed. She's the one who abandoned everything we believed in. She's the one who helped our daughter kill our grandchild. But somehow I'm the villain in this story. The boys are caught in the middle. Daniel mostly stays in his room. Michael asks me sometimes if I'm okay, but I don't know what to tell him. Michelle is talking about moving back after graduation so she can be closer to Dorothy. Donna is thriving at Duke, apparently. She made Dean's List last semester. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Everyone is acting like I'm supposed to just get over this and move on. But how do I move on from something like this? How do I look at Dorothy and not see the person who chose our daughter's convenience over a baby's life? How do I talk to Donna knowing what she did? I feel like I'm the only one who sees this for what it really is. Everyone else has convinced themselves this was just a medical procedure, and now it's in the past. But it's not in the past for me. Every day I think about that baby. Every day I wonder if it was a boy or girl, what they would have looked like, who they would have become. Dorothy says I'm obsessed and I need to let it go, but I can't let it go. That was my grandchild, and now they're gone, and everyone just expects me to pretend it never happened. Update 1. I'm back with an update, and I don't know if things are better or worse. I honestly can't tell anymore. A lot has happened since I first posted. About 2 weeks after my original post, Dorothy told me she wanted a trial separation. She said she'd been thinking about it for weeks, and she couldn't keep living in the same house with me. She said every time she looked at me, all she saw was anger and judgment. She said she was tired of walking on eggshells in her own home. I asked her where she planned to go. She said she'd stay with her sister Maria for a while. Maria lives about 30 minutes away. I asked what she was going to tell people, and she said she'd tell them the truth, that we were having problems and needed space. She moved out 3 days later. She packed up a bunch of clothes and some personal items and left. Daniel and Michael watched her carry boxes to her car. Neither of them said much. After she drove away, Daniel went to his room and didn't come out for the rest of the night. The house felt empty after that. I'd come home from work and there'd be no dinner cooking. No one to talk to except the boys, and they didn't want to talk to me. I started ordering pizza most nights because I couldn't be bothered to cook. Michelle came home that weekend. She didn't tell me she was coming. I just found her in the kitchen Saturday morning talking to Michael. When she saw me, she asked where Dorothy was. I told her we were separated and she was staying with Maria. Michelle got this look on her face like she'd been expecting it. She asked if she could talk to me privately. We went out to the back porch. She told me Donna was having a hard time. I asked what that meant. Michelle said Donna had been acting strange since the semester started. She wasn't going out with friends. She'd stopped posting on social media. She spent most of her time in her dorm room. I didn't say anything. Michelle kept going. She said Donna had called her crying a few nights earlier. She said Donna told her she kept thinking about the pregnancy. She said she felt numb all the time and couldn't shake this feeling that something was wrong with her. Michelle said she was worried about Donna but didn't know how to help. She said Donna wouldn't talk to a counselor. She wouldn't talk to Dorothy. She definitely wouldn't talk to me. Michelle asked if maybe I could reach out, maybe try to make peace. I told Michelle I didn't know what I was supposed to say. Michelle said maybe I could just listen. I told her Donna didn't want to hear from me. She'd made that clear when she blocked me on everything. Michelle said that was months ago and maybe things were different now. I told Michelle I'd think about it. She left later that day to go back to school. After she was gone, I sat on the couch for a long time trying to figure out what to do. Part of me wanted to call Donna. Part of me thought she deserved whatever she was going through. I didn't call her, but something else happened that I didn't expect. 3 weeks ago, right before Thanksgiving, Donna showed up at the house. She didn't call first or tell anyone she was coming. I came home from work, and her car was in the driveway. When I walked in, she was sitting at the kitchen table with Daniel and Michael. They were just sitting there, not really talking, just sitting. When Donna saw me, she stood up. She looked different. Her hair was shorter, and she had a nose ring I'd never seen before. She looked thinner, too. She asked if we could talk. I said okay. We went into the living room. The boys stayed in the kitchen. Donna sat on the couch, and I sat in the recliner across from her. Neither of us said anything for a while. Then Donna started talking. She said she'd taken the semester off. She hadn't dropped out, but she'd deferred her classes until January. She said she couldn't focus on school. She said she couldn't focus on anything. She said she kept having these moments where she'd forget what she was doing or where she was going, and she'd just feel completely empty. I asked her why she didn't tell anyone she was struggling. She said she did tell people. She told Michelle. She told her friends. They all said the same thing, that she'd made the right choice and she just needed time to adjust. But she didn't feel like she was adjusting. She felt like something had broken inside her and she didn't know how to fix it. Then she asked me something I wasn't ready for. She asked if I hated her. I didn't answer right away. I wanted to say yes. I wanted to tell her what she'd done was unforgivable, but when I looked at her sitting there on the couch looking small and tired, I couldn't say it. I told her I didn't hate her. I told her I hated what she did, but I didn't hate her. She started crying then, not loud crying, just quiet tears running down her face. She said she kept thinking about the due date. It would have been in late October. She said October came and went, and she couldn't stop thinking about it. She said she felt like she'd lost something, but she didn't know if she was allowed to feel that way, because everyone kept telling her she'd made the right choice. I didn't know what to say to that, so I just sat there and let her cry. After a while, she asked if she could stay for a few days. I said yes. Donna stayed in her old room. She didn't go out much. Mostly, she just slept and watched TV. Dorothy came by once to see her, but Donna didn't want to talk to her either. Dorothy left after about 20 minutes. The boys didn't really know how to act around her. Michael tried to cheer her up by showing her some video game he was playing. Daniel mostly avoided her. I think he didn't know what to say. One night, about 4 days after she got there, Donna came into the living room where I was watching TV. She asked if she could sit with me. I said sure. We sat there watching some cop show neither of us cared about. Then Donna said something that caught me off guard. She said she'd been thinking about church. She said she remembered going to mass when she was little and feeling peaceful there. She asked if I thought that feeling was real or if it was just nostalgia. I told her I didn't know. I said I hadn't been to church myself in months, not since everything happened. Donna seemed surprised by that. She said she thought I'd be at church every Sunday judging everyone. I told her I couldn't sit there and pretend everything was fine. She asked if I'd go with her sometime. Not to our old church, but maybe somewhere else, somewhere no one knew us. I asked her why she wanted to go. She said she didn't know. She said maybe she just wanted to feel something besides empty. I told her I'd think about it. The next week, Donna was still at the house. She got a job at a coffee shop nearby. Just part-time, a few shifts a week. She said she needed something to do. She couldn't just sit around the house anymore. Thanksgiving came and went. Dorothy came over for dinner, but it was awkward. Michelle drove down too. The 6 of us sat around the table and barely spoke. Donna pushed food around her plate. Daniel asked to be excused early. Michael tried to make conversation, but no one had much to say. After dinner, Dorothy pulled me aside. She said she wanted to file for divorce. She said the trial separation had shown her what she needed to know, that we couldn't fix this. She said she'd already talked to a lawyer. I asked her when she'd planned to tell me. She said she was telling me now. I asked her if this was really about Donna or if there was something else. She said it was about all of it. It was about how I'd treated Donna, how I'd treated her, how I'd shut everyone out. She said she'd tried for months to get through to me, and I wouldn't let her. She was done trying. She left right after that. Donna had overheard some of it. She asked if Dorothy leaving was her fault. I told her no. I told her this had been coming for a while. Donna didn't look convinced. A few days after Thanksgiving, something changed with Daniel. He started going to youth group again at church. He hadn't been in over a year. I asked him what made him decide to go back. He said he didn't know. He said maybe he needed something steady with everything falling apart at home. Michael asked if he could go too. I told him yes. So now 2 nights a week, the boys go to youth group, and I sit at home with Donna, who's still living here, and we don't talk about anything important. Last week, Donna asked me again about going to church with her. This time I said yes. We went to a Catholic church about 20 minutes away, somewhere neither of us had been before. We sat in the back and didn't take communion. We just sat there and listened. Afterward, Donna didn't say anything about it. We just got in the car and drove home. But that night, she knocked on my bedroom door and asked if I'd pray with her. Not because she believed anything, but because she said she needed to feel like someone was watching out for her. I didn't know what to pray. I just said some basic thing, asking for peace, asking for guidance. Donna sat there with her eyes closed, and when I finished, she thanked me and went back to her room. I don't know what any of this means. Donna is still here. Dorothy is moving forward with the divorce. Michelle is talking about transferring to a school closer to home so she can be near Dorothy. The boys are finding their way back to church, and I'm sitting in this house every night, wondering how everything fell apart so completely. People keep asking me if I've forgiven Donna. I don't know how to answer that. I don't think I have. But I also don't feel the same burning anger I felt before. Mostly, I just feel tired. Update 2. Things have gotten more complicated. I don't even know where to start with this update, but I'll try to lay it all out. Donna is still living at home. It's been almost 4 months now. She kept her job at the coffee shop and picked up more shifts. She was talking about going back to Duke in January for the spring semester, but then something happened that changed everything. About 3 weeks ago, Jake showed up at our house. That's her ex-boyfriend, the one who cheated on her and got her pregnant in the first place. I answered the door, and there he was. He asked if Donna was home. I asked him what he wanted. He said he needed to talk to her. I told him to wait outside. I went and got Donna. She came to the door, and when she saw him, her face went completely blank. She stepped outside and closed the door behind her. I watched through the window. They talked for maybe 15 minutes. At one point, Jake tried to touch her arm, and she pulled away. Then she came back inside, and he left. I asked her what that was about. She said Jake had driven 6 hours to apologize. He told her he'd made a huge mistake and wanted to get back together. He said he'd been thinking about her for months and realized he'd messed up the best thing in his life. Donna told him it was too late. She said she accepted his apology, but she didn't forgive him and didn't want him in her life. She said he needed to leave and not contact her again. Then she came inside. I asked her if she was okay. She said she was fine. She said it felt good to tell him off. She said she'd spent months imagining what she'd say if she ever saw him again, and now she'd said it and it was over. But then she said something that threw me. She said seeing Jake made her think about what could have been different if he hadn't cheated, if she'd made different choices. She said she knew she couldn't change the past, but she couldn't stop thinking about it either. That night, she asked if we could go to that church again, so we went. We've been going most Sundays now. We still sit in the back. Donna still doesn't take communion, but she goes and she sits through the whole service, and sometimes I see her lips moving like she's praying. The divorce papers came through about 2 weeks ago. Dorothy had them delivered to the house. I had to sign them. 23 years of marriage ending with a signature on some legal papers. The boys took it hard. Michael asked if there was any way to fix it. I told him no. Daniel didn't say anything, but he's been even quieter than usual. Dorothy has been spending more time with the boys. She takes them out to dinner once a week. She comes to Michael's basketball games. She's trying to make sure they know she's still their mother, even though she's not living here anymore. But she doesn't ask about Donna, and Donna doesn't ask about her. Michelle did end up transferring schools. She's going to ASU now, starting in January. She says it's so she can be closer to the family, but really I think it's so she can be near Dorothy. Michelle and I still barely talk. When she comes by the house to see the boys, she acts like I'm not there. The big thing that happened was last weekend. It was the first Sunday of December. Donna asked if we could go somewhere after church. I said sure. She directed me to a cemetery about 20 minutes from our house. I didn't ask questions. I just drove. When we got there, she led me to a section in the back. It was a garden area with small markers for babies who died before birth, miscarriages and stillbirths mostly, but there were a few markers that just said angel baby or loved and lost. Donna stood there looking at all of them for a long time. Then she knelt down in front of one of the empty spots. She reached into her jacket pocket and pulled out a small rubber duck, the kind you'd put in a baby's bath. She placed it on the ground in front of the empty spot. Then she bowed her head. I stood back and let her have that moment. After a few minutes, she stood up and walked back to where I was standing. She didn't say anything. We just walked back to the car and drove home. That night at dinner, just me and Donna and the boys. Donna told them what she'd done. She said she'd gone to the cemetery to leave something for the baby she didn't have. Michael asked why. Donna said because she needed to. Daniel asked if that meant she regretted her choice. Donna said she didn't know. She said regret wasn't the right word, but she felt something and she needed to acknowledge it. The boys didn't really know what to say to that. Neither did I. We finished dinner in silence. A few days after that, Michelle came by. She'd heard from Donna about the cemetery visit. Michelle asked Donna if this meant she'd changed her mind about abortion. Donna said no. She said she still believed she made the right choice for herself at the time, but that didn't mean she didn't feel lost. Michelle didn't like that answer. She said Donna couldn't have it both ways. Either the abortion was the right choice, or it wasn't. Donna said life wasn't that simple. Michelle said it was that simple, and Donna was confusing herself for no reason. They argued for a while. I stayed out of it. Eventually, Michelle left. Donna went to her room. Later that night, she came out and asked if I thought she was being crazy. I said no. I said grief was complicated, and she was allowed to feel however she felt. She asked if I was still angry with her. I told her the truth. I said I was angry for a long time, but now I was mostly just sad. Sad about the baby. Sad about how everything fell apart. Sad that our family would never be the same. Donna said she was sad too. She said she was sad about a lot of things. Then she asked if I thought God would forgive her. I said I didn't know how God worked, but I thought if there was a God, he understood things were complicated. That seemed to help her somehow. Dorothy came by yesterday to pick up some more of her things. She's moving into her own apartment next month. She saw Donna's car in the driveway and asked if she was here. I said yes. Dorothy asked how she was doing. I said she was managing. Dorothy asked if I'd talked to her about going back to Duke. I said Donna hadn't mentioned it. Dorothy said she was worried Donna was throwing away her future by staying here. She said Donna needed to get back to her life and stop dwelling on the past. I told Dorothy maybe Donna needed time to figure out what her life was supposed to be. Dorothy said I was enabling her to wallow. Then she took her boxes and left. The boys asked me later if I thought Donna would go back to school. I said I didn't know. Daniel said he hoped she stayed. He said it was nice having her around. Michael agreed. He said the house felt less empty with her here. I realized they were right. Having Donna here, even though she's going through something hard, makes the house feel less hollow. We eat dinner together most nights. We watch TV sometimes. It's not the family we used to be, but it's something. Donna told me yesterday she's not going back to Duke in January. She's going to take the whole year off, maybe go back next fall or maybe not go back at all. She said Duke feels like it belongs to a different version of herself and she's not that person anymore. She doesn't know who she is now, but she's trying to figure it out. I told her she could stay as long as she needed. She thanked me for that. I don't know what happens next. The divorce will be final in a few months. Michelle is moving back to Arizona. Donna is here indefinitely. The boys are adjusting to this new version of our family, and I'm trying to figure out how to be a father to kids who've all changed in ways I didn't expect. Someone commented on my last post asking if I'd forgiven Donna. I still don't have a good answer, but I'm not sure forgiveness is what matters anymore. What matters is we're still here. We're still talking. That's more than I thought we'd have a few months ago. Update 3. This is probably my last update. Things have settled into a new routine, and I don't think there's much else to say. The divorce finalized last month. Dorothy signed the papers and I signed the papers and it was done. 23 years of marriage over. She moved into her apartment right before Christmas. It's a small 2-bedroom place so the boys can stay with her sometimes. They split their time now. A few days with me, a few days with her. Christmas was strange. We didn't do our usual traditions. No big dinner at our house with extended family. No midnight mass altogether. Dorothy took the boys to her apartment on Christmas Eve. I stayed home with Donna. We ordered Chinese food and watched old movies. It was quiet, but not terrible. Michelle came by on Christmas Day. She brought her girlfriend Jessica. I'd met Jessica before, but this was the first time she'd been to the house. Michelle was cold to me like usual, but Jessica was friendly. They stayed for a few hours. Donna seemed glad to see them. On New Year's Eve, Donna told me she'd made a decision about school. She's not going back to Duke. She's officially withdrawn. She's going to enroll at ASU in the fall and finish her degree there. She said she needs a fresh start somewhere that doesn't have all the memories. I asked if she was sure. She said yes. She said Duke was where she became someone she didn't recognize. She needed to be somewhere different to figure out who she actually was. I told her I supported whatever she decided. She's still working at the coffee shop. She's still going to church most Sundays. Sometimes the boys come with us. Daniel has gotten more involved with youth group. He's talking about maybe becoming an altar server. Michael just likes the donuts they have after service. Something unexpected happened a few weeks ago. Donna told me she'd started seeing a counselor. Not a regular counselor, but someone from the Catholic Church near us. A woman who specializes in grief and faith. Donna said she needed someone to talk to who understood the religious side of things but wouldn't judge her. I asked how it was going. She said it was hard, but helpful. She said the counselor told her she was experiencing something called complicated grief. She said it's normal to grieve something even if you chose it. That helped Donna make sense of what she was feeling. Michelle heard about the counselor and wasn't happy. She came over and told Donna she was letting religious guilt manipulate her. Donna told Michelle that wasn't what was happening. She said she was just trying to process her feelings in a way that made sense to her. Michelle said Donna was backsliding into old beliefs that had been used to control her. They got into it pretty badly. Donna told Michelle she was tired of being told how she should feel. She said everyone kept telling her the abortion was empowering and liberating, but she felt neither of those things. She felt loss and confusion, and she needed to deal with that in her own way. Michelle left angry. Donna cried for a while after. I sat with her but didn't say much. What was there to say? Dorothy called me last week. She wanted to talk about Donna. She said she was worried about her being stuck in this house with me. She said I was pulling Donna back into religious guilt and shame. I told her Donna was an adult making her own choices. Dorothy said Donna was vulnerable, and I was taking advantage of that. I asked Dorothy when she'd last actually talked to Donna. She admitted they hadn't spoken in weeks. I told her maybe she should talk to her daughter before making assumptions. She hung up on me. The truth is, Donna and I don't talk about the abortion much anymore. It's there between us, this thing that happened that can't be undone, but we've found a way to exist around it. We go to church, we have dinner, we talk about regular things like her job and the boys' school and what's on TV. Is it forgiveness? I don't know. I still think what she did was wrong. I still think about that baby sometimes and wonder who they would have been. But I also see Donna trying to put herself back together, and I want to help her do that. Those two things exist at the same time, and I've stopped trying to reconcile them. Daniel is doing better. He's made some friends through youth group. Michael is just being Michael, playing basketball and video games and not thinking too hard about anything. They both seem to be adjusting to the divorce better than I expected. Michelle is at ASU now. She comes by occasionally to see the boys, but she doesn't stay long. She's still angry at me. Maybe she always will be. I've stopped trying to fix that relationship. Some things can't be fixed. Last week, Donna and I went back to that cemetery. She wanted to visit again. She brought flowers this time. She placed them by the spot where she'd left the rubber duck. Someone had moved the duck, but she found it and put it back. Then she knelt there for a while. When we got back to the car, she told me she decided something. She said she wanted to name the baby, just for herself, just so it felt real. She asked if I thought that was weird. I said no. She said she'd decided on Grace if it was a girl or Gabriel if it was a boy. She didn't know which, so she was just going to think of the baby as Grace Gabriel, a whole person who never got to exist. She asked if I'd remember that name too. I said I would. That's where we are now. Donna is working and planning to go back to school in the fall. The boys are splitting time between two houses. Dorothy has her apartment and her new life. Michelle is at ASU building a life that doesn't include me, and I'm in this house with Donna, both of us trying to figure out how to live with what happened. I don't know if this is a happy ending. I don't think it is. We're not a family anymore. Not in the way we used to be. We're scattered and broken and trying to make do with what's left. But Donna is still here. She's still trying. The boys are okay. That's more than I thought I'd have this time last year. Someone asked me in the comments of my first post if I'd ever get past this. I don't think I will. I don't think Donna will either. I think this is just part of our story now. This permanent loss that changed everything. We're learning to carry it. Some days are heavier than others. Donna asked me yesterday if I thought we'd ever be okay. I told her I thought we were as okay as we were going to get. She nodded like she understood. Then she went back to her room and I went back to watching TV. That's what our relationship looks like now. Small conversations, small moments. It's not what I wanted, but it's what we have. I don't think I'll update again unless something major changes. This is just our life now.